after Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took to Instagram and in a live stream said that she had been attacked or intimidated or harassed by MAGA protesters, Snopes decided to come out and fact-check those people who suggested that actually her story didn't line up with the facts of the matter and reality as we know it. And it seems to have in fact been her massively over-exaggerating the danger that she was in. And so Snopes rushed to the rescue of their fair maiden on their finest steed with this article. Did AOC exaggerate the danger she was in at the Capitol riot? What do you think the result's going to be, lads? They say AOC was targeted with another round of bad faith smears after giving an emotional first-hand account of her experiences during the Capitol riot. AOC exaggerated the danger she was in on the January the 2nd thing and saying that she wasn't in the Capitol building when the riots occurred. In the circus of cyberbullying that began on February the 3rd, 2021, conservative news outlets and social media conspiracy trolls latched onto the misleading claim that AOC wasn't in the Capitol building and therefore was not in harm's way, as she had described in her Instagram video. That's only because that appears to be the case. Examples include Red State blog headline AOC wasn't even in the Capitol building during her near-death experience, and the following tweet from the Daily Wire website. Others similarly chimed in, such as conspiracy theorist Candace Owens, which is not exactly a fair representation, who piled on another false claim by tweeting Cortez had faked her own attempted murder after having previously staged a photo shoot dressed all in white at a parking lot spread lies about immigrant children in cages. Again, that was a true statement. The staged photo is based on disinformation produced by the Alex Jones conspiracy network InfoWars. That's not true. It's based on the fact that the photos from all angles were apparent from that photo shoot that she had taken herself. But anyway, online trolls went further by drawing a misleading comparison between Ocasio-Cortez and Jussie Smollett, an actor accused of staging a racist anti-gay attack on himself in 2019. So, oh no, people are saying true things, is the contention here. Because Jussie Smollett clearly staged and hired two Nigerian bodybuilders to fake this attack on himself, apparently still wearing the noose around his neck that they had put in them. Again, I mean, apparently they'd come up to him and said, this is MAGA country, but Chicago isn't usually known for being MAGA country. Anyway, I don't feel that was a misleading claim, but that's not what I'm here to discuss. First, we will discuss what Ocasio-Cortez said in her video, then explain why the attacks on her were not just made in bad faith, but nonsensical. I mean, the irony of accusing people other than Cortez of being in bad faith when she herself is clearly operating in bad faith. And nonsensical, we'll get to that. Around the time the clashes at the Capitol started, Ocasio-Cortez said she was at her desk scrolling through lunch options when she heard a loud, violent banging on her office door. She ran over to her legislative director, Geraldo Bonilla Chavez, who she calls G, and told her, hide, run and hide. So she's in her office in the Cannon building, which is not in the Capitol building. So this is we've already confirmed that her story that she told on Instagram was false. She hid in the bathroom of her office and realized that the person who was banging on her door had gotten inside and was yelling, "Where is she?" She said she didn't know what she was hiding, but the person called out was actually a Capitol police officer. So it wasn't a MAGA protester, like she said in her Instagram video. In the moment, while she was hiding in her bathroom, like a real leader does, she and Bonilla Chavez tried to find a place to hide, again, like real leaders, after the officer told them to evacuate, without directing them to a specific evacuation destination. They ran down stairways and wandered hallways, and they could hear rioters getting louder and louder trying to break inside, and felt that at any moment the attackers might breach the building. That's not true. No one attempted to breach her office building. She finally found US Representative Katie Porter's office and ended up sheltering there, which is actually in another building. So either she went down some underground tunnel that she doesn't mention, or she crossed the street in order to get to Katie Porter's office. But by her own admission, she wasn't in the Capitol building that was actually under attack when the attack took place. So, what rating did Snopes give this? Well, of course, they gave it a mostly false rating. What's true, they ask? Ocasio-Cortez wasn't in the main Capitol building where the House and Senate chambers are located. Well, that was all of the claims they've listed. AOC wasn't even in the Capitol building during her near-death experience. So Red State are correct. Candace Owens is correct. They're all correct. Everyone is correct according to Snopes, who have rated this as mostly false. However, Ocasio-Cortez never claimed to be in the main Capitol building. When the attack on the Capitol began, she was, as she stated, in her congressional office, which is located in a network of office buildings immediately surrounding the Capitol. Yeah, but she did insinuate in the live stream on Instagram that she was where the attack was taking place, which she wasn't. The attack was taking place in the Capitol building. She claims to have been at the point where the place was being attacked. Therefore, she insinuates to the people listening, the gullible rubes who follow her, that she was directly under attack by MAGA protesters, which is not true. So it turns out that Snopes is once again just, well, lying about what's mostly false and what's mostly true, because the rating is the complete opposite of what actually happened. I mean, this should have a mostly true rating. AOC was not in the Capitol building. End of story. But anyway, the Babylon Bee response to this, I think, was perfect. I love the way that Babylon Bee has become a kind of fact-checking operation of Snopes.com, and that Snopes has been engaged in a kind of war with the Babylon Bee over this, a kind of information war. And the Babylon Bee's position, being based in comedy, can't really be refuted, and Snopes keeps losing every single one of these. But anyway, Snopes rates AOC's account of Capitol attack as factually inaccurate but morally true. Bravo, Babylon Bee. This is amazing. And again, this is a satirical article, but all satire is a commentary. Snopes has fact-checked Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's account of the attack on the Capitol, rating her claim that she was in mortal danger with rioters literally inches away from her as being factually inaccurate but morally true. I mean, that is basically what has happened here. Like the Babylon Bee, are they even a satire site anymore? What's the point of them? when what they're doing is the job that Snopes should be doing. The fact check pointed out that while Ocasio-Cortez's wild claims are factually untrue, they supported the narrative that the unbiased fact checkers at Snopes approve of, and so they were compelled to rate her claims as morally true. The only problem I have there is that they ended a sentence with a preposition. But this joke of factually true, factually inaccurate but morally true, comes from an interview she did a few years ago. That she was Anderson Cooper with CNN, gave her a very softball interview when she was still playing the doe-eyed freshman congresswoman rather than the steely-eyed revolutionary that she's become. But she was she had been fact-checked by the Washington Post, and her fuzzy mathematics were given a 4 Pinocchio rating from fact-checkers. And so she was invited onto 60 Minutes, and Anderson Cooper said, since the election, some conservative media outlets have focused on Ocasio-Cortez with unusual intensity for a rookie member of Congress. She's been accused of being dishonest and about the true cost of her proposals because she was proposing the Green New Deal and the tax burden they would impose on the middle class, and she's also been criticized for making factual mistakes. One of the criticisms of you is that your math is fuzzy. The Washington Post recently awarded you 4 Pinocchios for misstating statistics about Pentagon spending. And she says, oh my goodness, if people really want to blow up one figure here or a word there, I would argue they're missing the forest for the trees. I think there's a lot more people being concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct rather than about being morally right. Now, I mean, I'm just suggesting that being morally right and not being connected to factual accuracy, you might have a significant, I suppose we'd call it a discrepancy there, where you might say, well, it's morally correct to say that plants are naturally socialist and plants naturally cooperate. And as Lysenko found, factually, that's not accurate, but morally, it was correct. In the same way that Mao said, well, actually, what you need to do is plant plants about 1 meter under the ground so they don't get any sunlight, and plant them twice as close together. And that way, morally, we're going to get twice the bumper harvest. Factually, in both cases, it led to massive famines that caused millions and millions of deaths. And I think that exactly the same kind of thing is happening here. But anyway, I think what we can see here is there is an obvious partisan bias from Snopes. Not that I'm breaking any news with that, right? You already knew that Snopes is basically a kind of democratic institution that's designed to just protect the left. It is obviously partisan. It never seems to fact check the other way. And once again, you just can't trust them. You just can't trust them. Anyway, folks, if you'd like to see more content from the Lotus Seasons, you can go to lotusseasons.com and sign up and check out all of our premium content. We've got a lot on there, and we'll see you in the next video.